Welcome to The Finer Things. In case you missed it, last week we put out an episode of our show, The Finest Things, where we talked about the fantastic whiskey from Cavalon, which was their ex-bourbon oak edition. What are we talking about this week, Nick?
So this week we're going to be doing an episode of TomFinery, where we taste a nice selection of bourbon whiskeys, Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskies, I might add, with our guest here, Tia. And we're going to be tasting them on the rocks and neat.
So, obviously the sort of idea for this video was to really just get a novice's take on whiskey, which is why we have Nick here. But no, realistically, this is Tia. She's not, particularly well versed in whiskey. Certainly not in bourbon. Though I have, forced her to try a couple. Some have been tolerable, and some less so. So I kind of wanted to take today to be more of like a keep an open mind, try things, see what they taste like to you, what you like about them, what you don't like about them, and hey, at the end of the day, if you sort of decide you hate all four of these and that they're undrinkable because they're yucky whiskey, that's fine. But if you end up finding something you like or elements of them that you like, that's a cool thing you can use to sort of go forward with to which types of whiskey you might like, or even which types of spirits or cocktails you might want to veer towards.
Translation: if you don't like it, Ahmed actually hates you.
Yeah, I mean, that's true for anything. But I think we should probably go in order from the lowest ABV to the highest. And I'm thinking that the lowest ABV here is the Buffalo Trace.
I believe you're correct.
Serves.
I
think
that's
this guy
the 45.
comes in. The pedestrian 45%.
Yes, pedestrian. So we're going to try it neat first. Nothing added, just the bourbon itself. Bourbon is predominantly corn. So there's a...
Has to be 51% corn.
Has to be 51% corn. I wonder if we learned that from someone. Yes, 51% corn. And that it's going to lend itself to an inherent sweetness that other whiskeys might not have. Tia, just to walk you through real quick, really the basics of tasting. First of all, 80% of what you taste comes from smelling. So very important to get a good whiff of the whiskey. You can we'll say socially distance the glass from your nose because it is definitely stronger than most beverages. Really, like when you get it on the palate, it's all about really having it coat your tongue. You can aerate it, like kind of sip it like it's hot soup. That definitely helps. Certainly observing like the color of the whiskey as well, because some of these whiskeys are slightly different color from one another, and that can tell a story about how they taste. So, I guess we'll just jump right into our impressions on the nose.
So, Buffalo Trace, jumping in. What does it smell like to you?
Vanilla and cinnamon.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that. Anything else in particular?
Not really.
We had prepped Tia with the expectation that she would give at least 10 different flavor tasting notes.
Quite really underwhelming performance thus far.
I'm sorry.
I don't know what we're paying you for. But no, really, it's pretty astute, I think. There's definitely some cinnamon there. It's just, honestly, generally just a kind of a spicy smell. I would even say maybe a bit of that, like, acetone, like paint thinner sort of fragrance.
Yeah.
Would you sort of characterize it as something that you find to be good smelling or bad smelling? Or
I
indifferent?
feel like in the middle
Okay,
for sure.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess
But,
we'll go on the
different
on the palate rather.
What are you feeling?
It's not that bad.
Hmm.
It's pretty easy to drink, in my opinion.
What do you
Okay.
feel like it tastes like? If anything,
It still has that vanilla flavor to me.
yeah,
For sure.
tastes like
Yeah.
bourbon. It's kind of the joke. Yeah.
So all of these whiskeys, by the way, are Kentucky Straight Bourbons. That means that not only the requisite of having at least 51% corn in their makeup, but also they have to be aged in American oak barrels for a minimum of 2 years. And I think there's only one with the age statement out of this selection, which is the Knob Creek. Is that correct?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. Knob Creek is 12-year. The rest of these are at least 2 years in the barrel.
And the other requirement is that it's American New Oak.
Yes.
For bourbons, 51% corn, American New Oak, and has to be in Kentucky. Yeah.
Well, Ahmed, for it to be Kentucky Straight
Well,
Bourbon,
I meant bourbon in
I'm
general.
pretty sure it has to be Kentucky. But no, I do not believe that bourbon in general has to be Kentucky.
Fair enough.
I could be wrong about that. Please correct us. Definitely mention in the comments below there if I'm totally off my rocker, which I've been proven wrong probably 1,000 times by now.
A week, yeah.
Yeah, 1,000 times a week. Okay.
But so now we threw some ice in there. I would swirl it around, let the ice dilute the whiskey a little bit.
Yeah. Get the whiskey down to the temperature that's closer to the ice.
Yep.
And
And swirl it around, and then give it another whiff. And
see if it changes anything.
yeah, do you smell less? Do you smell more? Does it smell different?
Definitely smell less, and I feel like the
Totally
cinnamon smell is a lot less. I don't really smell it as much.
Less cinnamon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In my opinion.
for sure. I think that. Yeah,
Do you feel like any of the flavors have intensified or not really?
the sense. But
Okay. Well, let's see how it does on the palate then.
how do you feel about that?
Very watery.
Very watery.
Yeah,
So obviously different though than
Yeah,
without the
yeah.
ice.
Less flavorful,
Less flavorful.
in my opinion.
Do you find it easier drinking on the rocks?
Yeah,
You do.
for sure.
Okay. I agree with that.
I would say, to me anyway, it sort of intensified some of the things I didn't like about it, and took away some of the things I liked about it in terms of flavor profile. Not that it's bad. I'd actually prefer it neat by a long shot. Do you have a preference between neat or on the rocks in this case?
Not really. I mean, I guess it was definitely more flavorful before, but I'm not in love with the flavor, so
Oh, that's fair.
yeah,
Is it something you would drink again?
yeah,
Fair enough.
for sure.
What type of mood do you feel like you'd be in if you wanted to drink this?
I don't know. Like just relaxing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just yeah.
Sure. I agree
It's
with
easy.
that.
It's easy to drink, and you can
Yeah.
just sip on it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Beauty. So I suppose then we will move on to the we're gonna do next Wild Turkey.
Yeah.
Wild Turkey 101.
Coming up. So, getting back into it, we have a new addition to the cast here. This is Diego. Say hi.
What's up, guys?
Also, not really particularly well versed in whiskey, like Nick. And so we're just going to disregard the Buffalo Trace in interest of time. Diego's not going to taste that. He's not allowed to taste it. I hate him for not tasting it, but it is what it is. We're going to move on to the Wild Turkey 101.
We sure are.
So let's go ahead and crack into it.
Got the little. Okay.
I feel like I went larger with every pour.
Yes. Yep. That's
Perfect.
it's the whole
But
point of having the
that's the
jigger.
fun
You
of
know.
it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what we've been doing, Diego, is we're going to smell it, then we're going to taste it neat, then we're going to put some ice into it, shake it around a little bit, get a little bit diluted with the ice, smell it again, taste it again.
Neat
That's pretty
basically
much
means
the
nothing in it.
Yeah,
Correct.
I have no idea.
It's
That's
okay.
just liquor.
So,
So
listen,
give
just
it a smell. 80% of what you taste is what you smell. So you want to give it a smell and focus on
very,
what it
very
tastes
important.
like. If you find that you really don't like the taste of that, it's fine. You A, don't have to drink it, like not all of it anyway, and B, it's okay. You're not wrong for not liking it.
Yeah, Ahmed will just hate you forever.
But so what are we getting to you?
Nail polish remover.
Oh yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, definitely
sure.
acetone for sure.
Yeah,
Yep.
I agree with that.
So,
And honestly, I think that the characterization of the Buffalo Trace as paint thinner, but this one as nail polish remover is actually kind of apt. They really do sort of veer in those directions in
Yeah,
terms
they
of the
do.
chemical fragrances.
yes.
But
Let's give it a good old college try.
what are your thoughts on the flavor?
I don't like it.
What don't you like? What are you tasting that's not good?
Nail polish remover.
Ah, you get that nail
Interesting.
polish.
So I
remover,
get
yeah.
that on the nose, but I don't personally get that on the palate.
I kind of do. I mean, I'm tasting more corn on the palate. But I'm
Very
still,
corn
still,
forward.
yeah, still getting the nail polish remover.
But what do you
How's
feeling?
that doing for you, Diego?
It tastes really sweet.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the
Tastes
first thing I thought.
Really sweet, man.
Yep.
For sure. I totally agree
Honestly,
with that.
drinking it like this, it kind of gives you like a different kind of idea of what you're about to get into.
Yes. Yep.
Absolutely.
Instead of just like being like, "Yo, here's a shot, bro."
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
There's not a lot of
Taking
value
shots,
in that.
like basically, if you take a shot, the whiskey is going right to the back of your palate, which actually is right where all the bitter taste buds are. So, you taste it that way, and it's like, oh, it's gross, but I'm glad it's over with because it's already down my throat. Whereas now you're tasting it with the tip of your tongue, which is where the sweet receptors are, and that's where you're able to taste more.
It's a
pretty
lot more
cool.
enjoyable this way, honestly.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we got to check it on the rocks as well, which is why we have some rocks. So go ahead and grab yourself a couple of cubes there.
Yep.
Two are just stuck together. So, all right, fantastic. So you want to swirl this around because the ice cubes are going to actively cool the whiskey
And dilute it.
and dilute it. So the alcohol by volume percentage goes down, but in hopes that it increases the flavor. Maybe. So again, smell it because the smell could change from what it had been before, and we'll see what we do.
So, give it a whiff. And in that second smelling, does it smell different? Does it smell better, worse? Any particular things that you're smelling that maybe you didn't before?
A lot more tolerable than the nail polish remover.
Yeah, it's way toned down. I'm getting a lot more of the sweetness on the nose. I'm also getting a little bit of orange, I feel like, which, I don't know. It depends. Again,
I get
if I
that
call
too.
something out
Yeah,
and you
there's
don't
like-
get it, that's
It's
fine.
like you cut open an orange and like some of the
Yeah,
oils
like-
kind of
Yeah.
release.
I
Yeah.
told you that's exactly what I'm getting there.
Yeah. I smell
Like,
that.
Like
Smell
a
the
very
palate.
fresh.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's
Yeah.
That's
It's very different, right?
Yeah. What? Wow.
Who'd have thought just putting a couple of ice cubes in the drink just totally changes?
Yeah, that completely changed this. What the hell? What? Dude, it's like coffee because like you know that I work in coffee.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you before you try the coffee, you taste it kind of with your nose and you smell it first.
Yeah.
And then you taste it. So it's like
It's a very
Yeah.
similar process to taste
Yeah.
whiskey, to taste wine, to taste beer, as it is to taste coffee. Very, very similar process. So you already have a developed palate with coffee, which is great. It's very easy to develop the palate for whiskey and other beverages.
Any closing thoughts or remarks, Steve?
No, I don't like it.
All right. I guess we can polish these off and we'll move on to Knob Creek. So, moving on to the Knob Creek 12, which actually not a higher ABV than the previous one, so we kind of messed up there, but only 0.5% less, so oh well.
Inconsequential.
No performance benefit.
Absolutely none. Zero performance benefit, in fact.
Oh, and this guy's pouring it to the jigger, so I'll see you guys in about half an hour.
Wow. I mean, we can just cut it, or we can have interesting conversation about how this is the only age statement bourbon that we will be featuring today.
This is the only age statement bourbon that we're going to be featuring today.
Wow.
And Nick's still not done pouring.
There.
Anyhow, jumping into the nose on this guy. What are you feeling about the smell to you?
Nail polish remover again for me.
Really?
Yeah, I don't entirely disagree, though. It definitely, I feel, is less than was with the Wild Turkey.
How about you, Diego? What do you think?
It's hard, man. I have never done this before, so
It's
like,
okay.
That's a little like
There's
really,
no wrong answer.
really similar to the last one, man.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's kind of the same.
There's a lot of vanilla.
So the funny thing is,
Wrong.
like,
Wrong.
yeah. So a friend of ours was telling us a story the other day about how essentially there was some film he was watching, and some of the characters in the film were at a wine tasting, and the person hosting the wine tasting says, just give it a smell, give it a taste, shout out anything that you think is there, any tasting note, any flavor, and each individual person's calling out, I can taste the wood, oh yeah, I can really taste like the sun and the grapes, whatever, and the next person says, pear, and he goes, wrong! There is absolutely no pear in that wine. The next person's like, I can taste the soil. He's correct. Yeah. But back to kind of what you were talking about, dude. But the fact that you find them to smell the same is actually kind of a big joke in the whiskey community with
it's
bourbons.
Dude, it's the same thing with coffee. It's literally the same thing
Yeah,
with coffee.
like
Literally the same thing.
there is a big joke in the whiskey community when many different bourbons, people smell it, they go, it smells like bourbon, because a lot of them have a similar sort
very
of
similar
profile.
sort of smell. Yeah.
But
Let's dive on
it's a
in.
vanilla, very characteristic of bourbon as well.
Yes. And considering this has been in the barrel for 12 years, makes sense.
Kind of weird. I'm getting like a kind of chocolatey note that I've never gotten before on like the sides of the palate. I don't know if I'm like reaching there. I don't know. I feel it. Almost like cocoa bean more than chocolate.
Like cacao nib.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's feeling it in a
faint,
toasty way.
But
Let's throw in our one ice cube for these tiny pours before we have none left. Give it a swirl. I like to just throw a finger on the bottom of the glass, and once your finger sort of registers as cold, that's when you know the beverage is cold enough.
is that how it's done?
Yeah.
Wow.
You can get more information like that at www.ahmedwhiskeyfacts.org. That's not a real website.
Or you
Or is
can
it?
actually pick up my book, Nick's Insights on Whiskey. Also not a real thing.
And if it was, no one would buy it.
New York Times worst seller.
Yeah, New York Times worst seller.
They would come up with that title just for me.
Yeah.
I'd feel special.
Yeah.
Yes. So, Tia, Diego, what do you feel on the nose about this one now that there's an ice cube?
More so like a mix of the two things that you guys were saying, like cocoa, vanilla, kind of.
Okay, cocoa, vanilla. That's fair. Tia?
Still tasting a lot of vanilla.
Still a lot of vanilla?
It's pretty watered
I
down.
am getting
so-
maraschino cherry and orange.
You know what? I honestly had that at the beginning. I was like, I have like a citrusy kind of
Yep.
note to that.
Yep.
Yeah.
The chocolate
For
though
sure,
to me is
for
a
sure.
little stronger now. But absolutely, I'm getting the maraschino cherry and orange. That's what I get every time I have this guy on the ice. And I personally like it quite a bit. I think it melts
Very
really
dessert-like.
well. Yeah. But what are you guys' thoughts? Is this something you would drink again? You wouldn't drink again?
I'd try it again.
I would definitely drink this. It's a lot smoother than the last one.
Yeah, I agree. And
For sure.
that more time in the barrel will do that. And
Can do that.
It's also just very different.
Yep.
From distiller to distiller, from label to label, they go for different things and they achieve different things. But I think that is a nice segue into the piece de resistance of the Noah's Mill in the fancy decanter.
In the fancy decanter, guys.
So, jumping into the Noah's Mill, the highest proof and the fanciest bottle, not the stock bottle, by the way, just a cool decanter I had on hand. But let's give it a
We'll
go.
give it a go. Full glasses this time since Ahmed's pouring. Yep.
Yeah. Wait, more.
I got it. Okay.
Perfect.
There you go, buddy. All right. So jumping in to the nose mill, this is the highest ABV. Yeah, look at how much you wasted.
Wasted. Wasted. Are you calling Diego subhuman?
No, what?
Are you calling Diego inhuman?
No.
I'll see myself out.
That's insane. Jesus. I'm sorry, Diego.
Noah's Mill on the nose.
So what are you smelling?
It's very sweet. Vanilla bean ice cream.
Vanilla bean ice cream. That's a good one. What do you think, Diego?
More like a sweet orange peel.
Sweet orange peel.
A lot sweeter than the last two.
Could have to do with the higher alcohol content. Do we
So-
remember what the ABV was on that?
117.
117 proof.
So that's 56% or a little.
Wow, I can feel like I can smell the barrel, bro. It's
You remember that milkshake you made for me?
Yeah.
That is exactly what it smells like.
So that was actually Buffalo Trace Bourbon Cream, coffee liqueur, chocolate bitters from the Bitter Truth, and some Italian sweet cream and ice cream.
Our next signature cocktail.
Perhaps. But let's see on the palate here.
Ooh. I think I drank a little bit too much at first.
You don't say.
What are you feeling?
that citrus bang, bro. Like that, it just. Wow.
All right, I'm
It
so
really-
excited for you to get it on the rocks. Let's do
really
that
hits
because
the back of the
it is. Yeah, it's really something. We'll see in a
Wow.
second here. Double me up here, baby.
Yeah, it feels like I'm drinking a vanilla sundae. Like it's so sweet, man.
Actually, you know what? I'll take a second rock as well.
Can you give me one too?
There you go.
Thank
Two
you.
little ones. All right. Yeah, I realized that Ahmed gave me like a quadruple pour, so I have to, you know, really dumb it down with the ice cubes here. Thanks, buddy. So on the nose again.
You're welcome.
That delayed reaction means that Ahmed may have had a little too much to drink.
Not nearly enough.
Yep. Ahmed alcoholic.
Christ.
This is those Albany stories, right?
Oh, goodness. I don't know nothing about those. No, really, I don't remember. But let's give it a taste here.
Oh, that's a lot easier to drink.
Yeah. Mhm.
But the flavor, just like bazinga!
Yeah, the flavor's like really,
Moringa.
really hitting you.
Yeah. Bibimbi.
Bende. Bende hungry.
Oh gosh.
All right. But seriously, I tend to believe this is one of the bourbons or really whiskeys in general that I've had that just absolutely blossoms in the presence of the eyes.
Totally transformative. It's just like neat. It has some good flavor for sure, and you know it's all right. But you put you put it on the rocks, and it just you know, just really like the whole palate is alive and dancing, and just like wow.
But yeah, no, the ice absolutely enlivens the flavor. It's really something.
Oh yeah, for sure.
but-
Just literally the flavors are dancing on the palate.
Closing remarks for you two guys. A, do you feel like you like bourbon?
Yeah.
I give it a shot again for
Yeah,
sure.
that's awesome. Any particular one of the 4 that you're privy to?
I think this one's my favorite.
The Creek.
Yeah,
Knob Creek. Yeah, that's good stuff.
Yep.
That is pretty good. And
Oh, yeah.
well, they are like really well known for polishing the knobs.
Nice.
But all in all, really, really fun. Absolutely, thank you guys for coming on.
Definitely,
and,
thanks, guys.
Anytime,
You know,
man.
keeping your mind open.
Yeah.
But
That's what it's all about, right? Getting people to try new things, and if they like it, then great. We've done a service to the whiskey world.
And remember, guys, if you introduce someone to whiskey and they just kind of end up not liking it, it's fine. You can make new friends. It's all right.
Yeah, just hate them
not-
forever. Not a big deal.
But in actuality, if you introduce somebody to something they don't like it, either A, it doesn't matter. You can obviously just move on from that. But B, try to find the right thing. Maybe they don't like bourbon. Maybe they like Scotch. Maybe they don't like Islas. They like Speyside. Maybe they really would be more privy to a Taiwanese or a Japanese whiskey. Or maybe whiskey's just not the thing for them.
Yeah,
But-
maybe gin is.
Yeah. Speaking of gin, check out, I don't know, a couple videos. We'll plug one on the Hendrick's Midsummer Solstice, as we featured it.
Oh,
But I think that about does it. If you're
It
liking the
certainly
content, please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, share the content. That's something we don't talk about too much. If you know someone you think that might like it, give it a share. Give them a shout. Hey, there's these guys that I don't know what the hell they're doing, but it's kind of interesting. They're really dumb.
and guys, when you hit the subscribe button for our YouTube channel, which I know you're going to do, make sure to tap that bell. That's a real subscribe button. That'll give you notifications on our latest videos and releases there. And do be sure to check us out on social media. We have Facebook, Instagram, and believe it or not, we have a Twitter.